Hey YouTube, FlakJacket1000 again here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Mainspring Housing. And the Mainspring Housing is the part of the 1911 that holds the spring that pushes up on the hammer strut, is what it's called. And hold on one second, I'm going to get my pistol. Okay, I don't know why I didn't already have this with me, but it's the part that it sits right in here, and it pushes up on the hammer strut here, which makes the hammer go up like that. So anyway, it's pretty simple. Let's get started. So what you'll need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and actually more than 6, but these are it right here, what you need. And I haven't made these two yet, but I want to hurry up and make the video because these are pretty simple to make. Okay, so what you'll need first is the blueprint. Get that printed to the right dimension. And what I used is the inside view for this whole thing. I used the inside view of the Mainspring housing, and I just copied that a whole bunch of times and stapled blank sheets behind it, or spare sheets, so that when I cut one out it'll double the cut, I guess, like it'll make 2 copies of it when I cut it. So what I did was I made 2 of these, and the blank sides of the sheets are showing right now, but I just cut out a bunch of the inside view for these sides, and each side that you cut out will be 0.0645 inches, which is about 12 pieces each. Almost the same dimension as the outer frame, but not quite. It's a little different. But yeah, about 12 pieces. And then for the tube that you make, you're just gonna get a blank sheet of paper and measure out and draw a line across that is 1.672 inches this way, like, because when you cut it out it's going to be a strip like this, so make the strip 1.672 inches all the way across, and make 2 of those strips. And what you're going to get is a colored pencil, and say this is a colored pencil, you just get this strip and just get a little piece of tape and tape it on there just to start, barely on there, and then just wrap it around once, put some glue, and then while holding it tight, just keep on wrapping it, putting glue, and make sure it's straight. It's kind of difficult to do, but just make sure it's straight, and just keep on wrapping around, and do that with both 2 strips that you make. Wrap 2 strips around it, and then you'll be left with a big, large cylinder. And what you're going to do, from one side of the cylinder, on one side, you measure with your calipers from the internal diameter of the circle. Measure, it'll be 0.110 from one of the sides to the edge. So you'll get your calipers, which I should have brought with me here, and just put them right there, and make sure it's 0.110, and then mark that spot and get your X-Acto knife and just cut straight across from that line you make, from that 0.110 from the middle, not from the exact middle, from the outer diameter of the circle, and then you just cut straight down, and it makes a flat edge. And then on the opposite end, on the very opposite end, measure 0.055 from the internal part right there. So it'll be, the calipers will be like that, 0.055, and then of course once you get that line drawn, you just cut straight on down to make it flat. Okay, and on the two sides of the circle, the cylinder, you're gonna cut, let's see, you're just gonna get your calipers and put it around there and make sure it's 0.409 inches from side to side. So that'll be about, let's see, let me do the math real quick. I can do that. Say, okay, 0.409 minus 0.28. Okay. Divided by 2. Oh. Okay, so from the middle on the two sides, you'll go from the outer diameter of the circle to one of the sides, 0.0645, and then the same on the other side. You go from the diameter of that circle to 0.0645 this way, and then just cut it from there all the way down on both sides. And then you'll be left with a square that's not exactly a square, but it's more like a rectangle because each side is not equal. And make sure you mark which side is the back and front and the side so you remember. And so that's what you do for that piece. You're done with that. Then next, what you want to make is, and this is optional too, like once you have your two sides and then you have that cylinder, put those on, you'll be left with this space there in the back, like that. See that space? And there's two things you can do. There's the one I did was I got the blueprints, and I looked at the inside view right here, and what I did is I started right here at the point where the round comes to right there, that little point. So you start with, let's get it focused, start at that point right there and make a line straight down to the end of that circle right there, the hole, and just make a line straight down, and so that when you cut it out it'll look like this. So see, I cut it like that. So from the outer side of that circle, you start the line from right there and go all the way up to that little point right there. And then what you do is you cut a whole bunch of them out, layer them together, and it'll give you the back end of the mainspring housing that's rounded. And it took me a while to do that actually, because this is 0.409 in width, so that's about 81 pieces, I think. So it took me a while to cut them all out and everything. Well, more time to glue actually than cut out. It didn't take as long to cut out as glue. But so what if you don't want to take the time to make that? What you can do is just get a straight piece of, let's see, get a piece of paper and measure out 0.409, or actually what you can do is just get the blueprint and look at the back side right here and measure 0.409 either direction. Make sure it's centered in the middle, and then just cut that out and layer that about, not sure how many times you layer it, about maybe 12 to 15 times. And when you layer it, it'll just be a flat version of this. So it'll be flat on the back, and it'll look like it just goes straight across instead of being round. And that's a little bit faster, but I like to be as close to the real thing and make it round like that. So that's what I did, and that's about 81 layers, thickness of 0.409. Oof. So oh, and when if you do make this version like I did, then make sure you draw the line across, and if you make copies of it, make sure the line is visible to the other copies so that you know where to cut. So you don't have to draw it each time, the line where to cut. So after you got these parts, then you're left with the bottom half right down here with the 2 holes, and the rail on the side, which I've cut out the rail. And those are probably the easiest ones to make, I would think. Well, not the easiest, but the rail that you see here, you just cut out a course of that on the blueprint, and it's going to be a thickness of 0.042 inches, which is about 8 pieces, 8 layers of those on each side. That is 8 layers on each side. And the way you line it up is if you don't have the blueprint side facing up like I don't, then you can just cut out a blueprint view and just put it on there and trace where it's supposed to go, the rail, which is what I'm going to have to do. And then lastly, you're left with this bottom piece you have to make. And I just got the inside view blueprint, which you don't have to use the inside view. And I just, well, actually you kind of do, because that line right there, you just cut straight across and straight down, because that's the back piece right there. Well, you cut straight down from the line you make. You know, remember that line that you make to make this? So you follow this line straight over to that line you traced out, and then go straight down. And you just layer those bottom pieces the same amount as you would layer this, which is about 81 times, to make a width of 0.409. And I haven't made that yet, but pretty self-explanatory there to layer them. And then after you layer them, you notice that there's going to be a slight hole there, which goes into the pin area. You can just drill that like it looks like that, or you can cut it with your X-Acto knife. But it's not that big of a deal, because I'm not sure if the Mainspring Housing pin goes that far or not. Maybe it does, probably. But anyway, it's not that big of a deal. So once you get all that together, see, I've labeled this back, which is actually the front, but I know what I'm talking about. So you put that there, and this goes there, and this goes on the other side. So there you have it. And Tacoma 1942, on his, he actually put an extra side over here. But what I'm going to do is just keep the tube, the square part, like it is, and then fill in the edges. Make sure it's stuck in there good with super glue and baking soda to make it smooth. So I'm going to put this in the pistol. Oh. Right. Okay. and it'll just slide in there. Make sure it's snug in there. You want it to be kind of snug so it doesn't rattle around. So yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. It'll be like that. And then the bottom piece will be there. And before you actually glue the rails on, put the rails in there. Well, put the rails, you can like tape the rails on or something and see if they line up. And if they do, then you can glue them on. Huh. So yeah, that's the mainspring housing for you. I don't think I missed anything here. Oh, I did actually miss something actually. Gotta look to my blueprints over here. You'll notice that there's this curved part right here, and what you're gonna do is just get the blueprints and just cut straight across right there, so that you can put that area, fill it in to make this bottom half right here. So just cut that out on the blueprints, which will be, let's see, let me see if I can figure that out. That part, I haven't figured out what that'd be, but I'm not sure why I haven't done that yet. But just layer the papers until it is big enough to, as wide as that would be, I mean. And just keep on layering until it's, when you have it together, probably be easier to show you than tell you. Where you do it. Okay, so when you have this here, you see there's that area right there where you're gonna get that paper like I talked about and layer it in there, that you cut out from the blueprints. Just cut out that little area over here and just layer it. So I think that is it for this tutorial. And I just dropped the back end, but I'll find it. So this is what I got so far on the 1911, and it's looking pretty good so far. I got the trigger in there, you can see triggers in there, and the disconnector and sear, everything in there. So if you have any comments, feel free to ask me and I'll answer. And hopefully I'll get all this made tonight and be able to put in. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.